One of the biggest challenges of losing weight is how to deal with cravings. So I want to talk about how you can deal with them in a more effective way. And before I get to the specific strategies you can use, I want to talk about kind of I want to back it up and talk about the big picture of cravings. Because I think a lot of times people approach cravings almost, they're on the defensive. It's almost like the cravings like a murderer running around your house and you're trying to hide from it, just hoping it won't see you. Right? And so you get very kind of timid and scared around cravings. And I think that's the exact opposite posture that you want to take. I think you want to go on the offensive. You want to be proactively preventing cravings. That is without question the best strategy that I've seen. So don't be scared of them, because when you're scared of them, you're not working on a solution to them. Okay? So as soon as you flip that around and say, I'm going to stalk my cravings, I'm going to understand them. What creates them? What causes me to have unhealthy cravings, to be hungrier? And I'm going to prevent that. Because once you get into that situation, the whole weight loss process becomes much, much easier. So that's the big picture that I want to say. So I'm going to give you some specific strategies, but what I always want you to be thinking about is, how do my cravings work in my body? Right? That's the big one, because the more you understand the relationship between what you are doing, how you're living your lifestyle, and what the cravings are, the more you can manipulate that engineer so the cravings go way down. Okay, so a few key things to look for is, number one, sleep quality, right? And what I want you to notice, and again, the first stage is just being aware. The second stage is fixing it. So the first step is to notice when you go to bed late or you have a bad night of sleep, notice how it impacts your hunger and your cravings the following couple days, okay? Because what happens is, when we don't get a good night of sleep, we're tired, and our body knows that it can get some quick energy from food, all right? And on top of that, our sleep affects our executive functions in our brain, our willpower, our ability to choose the right foods. So compare when you have a bad night's sleep or a lack of sleep to when you're fully rested, and notice how that impacts your cravings and your hunger. The next thing is water. It's estimated that 70% of people are at least mildly dehydrated. This is a big problem because dehydration can feel like hunger. And so as you start drinking more water, notice how that impacts your cravings. It might have a huge impact on them. It may lower them dramatically. And the next thing is which foods you're eating. I always like to say that I think of, like, anytime I'm eating sugar, it's kind of like cravings on layaway. I know when I'm eating that sugar now that I'm going to be fiending that sugar in the future as well. And the same is true when I'm eating healthy food. So the healthier my eating becomes, the lower my unhealthy cravings become as well. All right. So there's a lot of other things as well, but I just want to kind of start you off with these three. And more importantly, I want you to notice the big picture of, like, the relationship between your lifestyle and the decisions that you make and what the cravings end up being. And as you start to understand that connection, you can start thinking more strategically to prevent the cravings in the first place, as opposed to just thinking that you're going to try and fight them with willpower, or try, be scared of them and hope they don't show up. Let's prepare. They're going to show up. They're going to happen. But if you're strategic with it and you understand yourself and how your body works, you can start to strategically create a lifestyle so that you have less cravings and it's easier to lose the weight you want to lose.